Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a YouTube video on Guerrilla Warfare and go into a little bit of what it is and maybe even some outfit ideas if you unfortunately happen to be in that type of situation. But this is more for like survival and, defend yourself, maybe your own community, and stuff like that. But let's go into it. What is Guerrilla Warfare? Guerrilla Warfare is basically when, the main army of whatever country is defeated and then gets occupied by the opposing force, and the citizens of that area usually don't like the government or that type of opposition, and they'll usually take up arms themselves and go against the main army of whatever invading country. It doesn't even have to be an invading country. It could just be a party. Like a good example would be like the Sandinistas and the the Sandinistas and the Contras of Nicaragua. That was two opposing parties that didn't like each other, and well, they ended up doing a civil war. And you had the Contras, which was more democratic, against the more communist Sandinistas, and we all know what happened there. Unfortunately, the Sandinistas won. And but yeah, it's usually about the poor, or maybe a political party that doesn't like the other political party, and they usually just go at it. Another example will be the IRA of Ireland. They did the same thing. It was just citizens defending themselves against the opposing force of England, because they didn't like the English. There was a lot of history on that, and I don't want to go too much into it. But another example would be modern day what happened in Afghanistan and Iraq when the US invaded, and then you had insurgencies that were just basically random people who didn't like the US people invading, and basically took up arms themselves and went against the conventional army of the US. You also have the other war that's going on right now, which was Russia and Ukraine. The same thing is happening. Now, this outfit, what I'm wearing, it's pretty typical of what you would see in Guerrilla Warfare. Not in urban settings, but I would say in more, whatever camo this fits in. Usually it's woodland or jungle. Something like this is something you would want to wear because you want to blend into the environment. Obviously, you wouldn't want to wear this in an urban environment like I'm in right now, but you can, get away with something like this, just regular old jungle boots, jeans. I have an EIDL top. Surplus gear. That's usually what guerrillas use. They use surplus gear, whether they buy it from the surplus stores they have in the country, or a country is giving them old stock of stuff to help them fight the opposing force. And this is actually what inspired me. This outfit would be the Contras. I actually looked up a few pictures of what the Contras look like, and most of them were seen wearing US stock of or old stock of stuff from the 1980s, right, and 70s. You have like a lot of people wearing EIDL or a type of woodland, and this is good for them because they fought in the jungle. But how would you fight in an urban setting? That's where things get kind of tricky, because you wouldn't want to wear this in an urban setting because you would be easily identified, and that's something you don't want to do, right? An opposing force could easily look at me and be like, okay, that's obviously the enemy, and that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to look all tactical and wear all kinds of tactical stuff if you happen to be in an insurgent in a more urban setting like the United States, or wherever you live, if it happens to be a metropolis. And I'll show you something that's probably more common in urban settings rather than wearing like something like this. Well, this is more for like jungle or woodland and wouldn't work in the urban setting. And I'm going to change right now. Okay, I'm back from changing, and this is what I would wear. Just normal everyday clothing. Now, why would you want to wear everyday clothing without any kind of weapons or camouflage, anything militaristic? You basically don't want to identify yourself as a hostile. That is exactly how the IRA of Ireland and even the insurgencies in Iraq and Afghanistan were able to conduct guerrilla warfare. They just wore everyday clothing like what everybody else looks like in, you know, whatever area they lived in, and just absorbed. That's one of the first things you do, is you go around in normal clothing like a normal person, do everything normal that, you know, normal people would do, absorb the enemy from a distance, and pick your fight. Basically, that's basically what guerrilla warfare is. You're choosing when to strike the enemy when they're at the most vulnerable. And that's exactly what, you know, the IRA of Ireland did. That's what the Afghanistan people did back when the US invaded. That's what's happening now with Ukraine, you know, at least in some cities. You know, you have normal people who aren't, you know, who don't look like hostiles. They don't look like they're dangerous. I obviously look normal. I don't even have boots on. I just have my regular Vans, jeans, a nice shirt. And you absorb, and that's, you know, you choose a spot, and that's when you pick your fight. You pick targets. Now, obviously, when it's go time, you still want to wear the same thing because you want to get away. And this, obviously, it only works if you have the people's support. If you don't have the people's support, then this is not going to work. You know, the way the you know, people of Ireland, the IRA, were able to do this was because the people of Ireland did not like the British. You know, that's a simple fact. And, you know, the people would support the IRA by, you know, hiding them. And, you know, one of the tactics they would do would be, okay, dress like a normal person, go observe the enemy, go back to your, you know, your little hiding spot, whatever, equip yourself. That's when you attack. You know, you equip yourself with your little lightweight equipment, still wearing civilian clothes, and then it's more of a hit and run tactic in terms of guerrilla warfare. You strike fast and then you run and hide into the populace. That is the whole point of guerrilla warfare. Now, this is obviously a, you know, nice outfit. Obviously, wear something that's, you know, normal people wear. I live in a place where it's Mediterranean kind of climate. It's a little hot, even when it's, you know, winter. It's still like 70, 60. It's not that cold. Obviously, if you live somewhere cold, wear some, you know, oversized jackets. You can get away with stuff like that. But for me, I'm gonna do like more hot weather. And let me show you some, you know, the next outfit, which is going to be for the time when you strike, something you want to wear when that happens. Okay guys, I'm back and did the outfit change. And as you can see, you know, I still kind of look like a civilian, but not really, because I have the gear on, the mask and everything. Usually when you dress like this is the point of attack, right? You've observed the enemy, or opposing force, whatever, right? You find a weak point or a weak spot or an ambush point, something, right? Once you do that, as you did that in the, you know, previous outfit, right, the regular civilian clothes, and you find a strike point, that's when you throw on your gear. And this is why support of the people that you are around is very important, because this is really hard to do if you can't really hide your gear. You know, one of the reasons that the IRA of Ireland was so successful in repelling the English, you know, force, was they had support of the people. So, you know, people would just go out in regular clothes, find a point of strike, a weak point to ambush the English. They would, you know, grab weapons and gear that, you know, the people were hiding, like just normal civilian people were hiding. Grab those weapons, gear up very fast. Remember, you had to be quick. It's all about hit and run and striking fast and returning fast and, you know, going back to normal. So I have something very, obviously this is not real, I'm just doing this for a demonstration, but, you know, this is very simple. I have surplus, you know, Alice gear, a balaclava to help hide your face from identification, regular old hat. You don't have to have insignias. It's actually advisable not to wear any insignias unless you want to. The IA did, you know, sometimes they would wear the like iconic black beret with the little IOA insignia. I think that was only for like massive strikes, but you can if you want, if you don't want to. You know, I've seen pictures of the IOA where they have nothing but just the balaclavas. But, you know, in my case, I like to have something that signifies me as, you know, American. But yeah, something like this. Very simple, very lightweight, fast. You move fast, and that's the whole point. You don't want to put like all kinds of gear, you know, go juggernaut mode and have like all kinds of clips on you, because that's not the point of guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare is basically you know, strike fast, quick, and then you leave. That's it. You know, it's a very quick, and you're not supposed to stay there in a sustained fight. That's not guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare is not sustained, you know, fighting where it's like, you know, usually what happens in conventional warfare. Guerrilla, it's just you strike and then you pull out and leave, and then you hide. And let me show you how easy it is to hide, right? So say I, you know, ambush an opposing force or whatever it is. You know, all I do is you strike fast, you know, do as much damage as you can, then you run away. That's what you do. You run away. And this is where you know, having the community or the people around you as a supporter comes in handy, because, you know, you hide into, you know, your neighbor's house or whatever house, and you give them, you know, your stuff. It's pretty fast. You know, you can take off all this. And I'm back to normal. I look like a normal person, right? And that's where it's key to have the populace on your side, because, you know, I could have given that to the bar, you know, the guy at a bar, or maybe in a supporter's house, right? And that's what the people of Ireland did. They would just throw on their gear, strike fast, go hide in, you know, one of the supporters' house, hide the weapons and all the other gear, and then come back looking normal and blend into the populace again. And that's, you know, that's why, you know, Ireland was successful. That's why the people of Afghanistan and Iraq was so successful, is because that's what they did. You had people, you know, the insurgencies there, when they were against the US at the time, they would just wear normal clothing like everybody else did, and then they would strike, you know, at ambush points, and then run, leave, and come back to normal. And that's what makes it really hard for conventional soldiers to identify. It's like, okay, who the heck is the enemy? You know, it's really hard to find the enemy when they look like normal people. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I did it more of a, I guess, guerrilla warfare, you know, history, maybe a little bit of a outfit help, also survival. You know, obviously you don't have to use this for guerrilla warfare. You can use it for, you know, I don't know, apocalypse or something, if you're like a what do you call it, doomsday preppers. But yeah, it's just a little fun project, and this is just for like survival and entertainment purposes. But hope you guys liked the video.